Before we dive into this week's episode, I want to share an exciting offer from our friends at Fourth Party. You met both Melissa Brogdon and Michael Holmes in 2 episodes where we focused on both how important your back end is to your business, as well as how important creating a smooth client experience is. Well, Fourth Party bridges the gap between great mediators and great businesses by offering technology and guidance that makes running a mediation practice feel effortless. So say goodbye to the pain of scheduling, payments, and communications with Fourth Party. And right now, they are offering listeners 20% off their first 6 months with the code Susan20. So all you have to do to take advantage of that, head over to fourthparty.app and schedule a conversation with their team. Just tell them that Susan sent you, use the code Susan20. I'll put links and notes in the show notes for you, but go check it out today. Welcome to the Practice Playbook Podcast, your go-to resource for legal professionals, mediators, and entrepreneurial experts building modern, profitable, and purpose-driven businesses. I'm your host, Susan Guthrie, attorney, mediator, and #1 bestselling author with over 35 years of experience. I'm a former chair of the ABA section of dispute resolution, and I've helped thousands of professionals build practices they love through my books, coaching, and training programs. Each week, I'll bring you real-world strategies, mindset shifts, and behind-the-scenes insights to help you grow with clarity, confidence, and impact. Let's dive in. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Practice Playbook Podcast. I'm Susan Guthrie, and today, as we near the end of 2025, we are going to do one of the most important and transformative exercises for any legal or dispute resolution entrepreneur. A year-end debrief that is honest, strategic, and deeply grounding, right? We're going to take a look at what we've done in the past year through the lens of what we want to carry forward into the coming year and what we want to let go. This is the same process I walk my private coaching clients through every December. And today I'm giving you the full framework along with a companion worksheet that you can download to guide your own debrief step by step. You're going to hear me reference that worksheet throughout this episode because it will help you turn everything we discuss into a clear written plan you can carry into your 2026 or whatever year is coming as you listen to this podcast episode. Now, let me say this. Most practitioners hope a new calendar year will fix old problems. But the truth is, nothing changes on January 1st unless you do. There's no magic to turning the page from December of one year into January of the following year. The shift comes from clarity. Clarity about what worked, clarity about what did not work, and clarity about what it is time to let go. This episode will help you find the clarity that you need to do that, and it will help you to step into the new year with intention, focus, and confidence. So let's begin. First, I want you to look at what worked in 2025. Right? Every debrief starts with your wins. It is far too easy to minimize them because as entrepreneurs, we are constantly moving those goalposts, right? We're always moving them further and further away. We have a goal, we reach it. Do we do a victory lap? Not often. Usually we just move the goalposts further down. And if you know me and you have ever seen any of my in-person presentations, I will often make everyone in the room get up and do a little lap around their table as a victory lap. I think it's very important to celebrate what works. So that's what we want to start with. It helps you When you actually see where your efforts created good and positive results, it will help you repeat what is working. For my own year, as I look back, one of the biggest things that worked for me was making aligned decisions. I said yes in this past year only to opportunities that truly moved my business forward. I happen to be a big yeser. I say yes to a lot of things. And in this past year, one of the things that I wanted to work on was having the discipline to say yes to only the opportunities that moved my business forward. In the past, I've had other things that I've been focused on that I've tried to give priority to. And this year I wanted to focus on my business. So now as I look back on the past year, the simple discipline of opening the door to better work, better collaborations, and more supportive partnerships has been a big one of my wins. Another win for me, and I'm just sharing these things so you know the things to be looking at, but another win for me was investing in systems and structure. And that's not just investing money into systems and structure. It was investing my time. In fact, I just met with a client earlier today, and we were talking about her wanting to streamline some of the work in her practice as an entrepreneur, as a solopreneur, truly on her own, that although she's one of the best at what she does, a lot of her time isn't spent doing that work. It's spent on the time suckers. You know, those things I've talked about in other episodes, the email back and forth of scheduling, the trying to keep track of to-do lists, the chasing getting paid, those things that suck our time with no real return on that investment. We aren't getting to do the work that lights us up in that. So when I talk about investing in systems and structure, for her, I was talking to her about how to streamline some of those time suckers by integrating artificial intelligence tools, etc., in a way that would take some of the things that didn't need to be replicated by her individually every single time and automate them. And it's kind of a low-hanging fruit with AI, but it does take time to implement, especially if you are a very conscientious solopreneur like she is, and she wants to make sure that it all works beautifully, seamlessly, and it sounds like her as an automated email goes out. So it's going to take time. And I said to her, the beauty of it, though, is the return on investment of time gets better and better each time you invest in it. So the first time you implement a template or an automated response, that's going to take you the most time. The next time it will take less, the next time it will take less, but the investment of that time, the return will be she is going to have much less of her time sucked up and more of that time available to do that work that she is so good at, that she gets paid top dollar for, and that is why she does what she does. So every time you carve out time to refine a workflow or improve your intake process, you get an immediate return on that investment. You'll have less friction, more consistency, and more ease. So for me, that was my second big win of the year. And I'll say this again because I teach it constantly. I talk about it all the time. Follow-up matters. It is one of the most overlooked but most powerful growth tools in any professional practice. This year, more than ever, deepening my follow-up process increased my revenue and strengthened relationships as I look back in what I see as a measurable way. So those are my top 3 wins. If you could see me right now, I'm not actually up doing a lap around my desk, but I'm doing a mental victory lap because those are 3 things I committed to at the beginning of the year and 3 things that I put in the win column. So now it's your turn. The companion worksheet is going to walk you through this section with prompting questions, but here are a few to consider. First, what brought in new clients? Hopefully you've had some new clients this past year. What brought them in? Did you do the follow-up with them to get feedback? Do you have insights into what brought them to you? What was it? What did you do? And how did they find you? And how did you create that visibility if they found you? What created visibility? What was a win around creating visibility for you? Another one goes to that investing in your systems and structure. What helped to improve your efficiency in this past year? And another big one for people. What made you more efficient, gave you more time to do what you want to do? Think about what relationships supported your growth in the past year. Who supported you? What outreach did you do? What helped you establish relationships that were supportive of what you did in your business? And finally, what made your work feel, this is an important word, sustainable? This is working. This is happening. This is something that is going to be able to go forward. What made your work feel sustainable? I want you to capture these. You can do that right on the companion worksheet. You can download, I should have mentioned, it's in the show notes. As always, there's a link in the show notes where you can get the download. But capture the answers to these. Put some time into thinking about it. They are going to form the absolute foundation of your 2026 strategy. Now, once you've done that, the fun is over. Party's over, folks. We're going to move on to what did not work. We're going to move into the lessons. I don't want you to think of them as failures. They are lessons. We learn by identifying what did not work and learning from it. That is a lesson. So this part of the debrief is often the most enlightening because you discover where your time, energy, and perhaps money went without producing meaningful results. I'm going to share, I'm being very transparent with you all. These are some of the things that I would say did not work in the past year. There were some projects that seemed promising, but ultimately did not align with that bigger vision. There were ideas that required far more time than the return justified. They were exciting. They were things that I thought sounded interesting, and they were fun to work on for a variety of different reasons. But the return on that investment of time and energy and perhaps money did not align with my bigger vision. They were not moving me forward to the business that I am committed to creating. And yes, there were marketing efforts that did not convert, even though they had all the right ingredients, right? I put a lot of time. Many of you ask me, Susan, who does your social media, who puts out all of your thought leadership, who writes this for you or does that? I do it. I enjoy doing it, but I have to balance my enjoyment of that. And I know many of you are out there, hate doing marketing. I enjoy the creative side of that. It appeals to a part of me. So I take on more of it than I probably should. So I actually have to keep pretty tight guardrails on myself to keep me from going down rabbit holes of marketing efforts that are not actually working or not actually moving me forward because I enjoy the creation of them. That's my own personal blind spot. Every entrepreneur has them and faces this. The difference between successful entrepreneurs and those that are treading water is what you do with the information. When you recognize that something is not working, you have options. You can adjust, refine, or release. But you cannot make effective decisions without seeing what isn't working clearly. So let's go to the worksheet again and answer these questions honestly. What drained your energy in the past year? What drains your energy? For many of my clients, this is the type of matters that they are attracting. So the client matters that they are attracting. They're bringing in low-hanging fruit perhaps, but not the type of work that actually interests them, engages them, and I always say it, but lights them up. That drains your energy. Another question is, what cost time without creating growth? I have to let some of my marketing things go because it's not actually moving me forward. Not all marketing moves you forward. The massive amounts of marketing don't necessarily move you in the direction you want to go. That's mine. What for you cost you time without creating growth? What relationships or commitments no longer serve you? This is a hard one because cutting relationships or modifying relationships or commitments, things that we have committed to do or have said we will do, but is not serving you the way that it originally was. We all have a reason for doing what we want to do, what we agree to do, but that doesn't mean that it will stay the same. So sometimes you have to take a clear look at the relationships or commitments that no longer serve you. And this clarity is part of your power as a practice owner. There is power in this clarity, right? So now you've taken this look at, and do this on the worksheet. There's more information there. But now we move into what to leave behind, because you can, the things that aren't working, you can look at them through that lens of what can I refine or modify? That's one look. But the easiest, not the easiest, I shouldn't say easiest, because it's not easy to leave things behind. But the biggest transformation comes from identifying those things that aren't working and that it's time to let go. So this is where real transformation happens as you move forward and makes space for more of what works, right? So what you're doing is clearing space, because if you want a different year next year, a better year next year, even if you had the best year ever this year, next year can be even better, but you cannot carry the same patterns forward, the things that did not work. And there are always habits, services, beliefs, or commitments that once served you, but no longer do. And this is another thing that I just truly see constantly with the practitioners I coach. Change is hard. We do what we do. We do it the way we've always done it because that's how we've always done it. And you've heard me say on other episodes, right? The most expensive words in business are, but that's the way we've always done it. And by expense, it's not just money. Again, it's your time, it's your energy, it's your focus, it's your clarity. So when you hold on to outdated structures like pricing or legacy services that no longer fit, then you stay overcommitted because letting go feels uncomfortable. It does. I have a friend who wrote this fabulous book about the power of letting go. And then she has a TEDx that's one of those TEDx's that has been viewed multiple millions of times. Her name is Jill Scherer Murray. And her TEDx, I loved it. I was drawn to the title is The Unstoppable Power of Letting Go. And she is not wrong. I'll link to that for anyone who's interested in seeing it. It's absolutely fabulous. And it's a different tale. It's not written from a business perspective, but the power of letting go makes you unstoppable. And so that's why this is the most transformative part of the exercise that you're doing. And trust me, as I go through business, I've been in business for 35 years. I've been an entrepreneur for almost 30 of those years. I've been either a partner in a law firm or had a solo practice or had my own firm or had my multiple entrepreneurial things that I do these days. And I have done this. I have held on to far too much out of habit and fear. And I can tell you this with absolute certainty. The growth came when I started releasing what no longer belonged. I make changes. If you watch my current career path or my current business entrepreneurial journey, things are constantly changing. Part of that is because I just find myself interested in so many different things, and I'm lucky enough to have the time and energy to put into those, but also because I'm constantly open to that change, because it's what brings the next step, the next success. So growth comes when you start releasing what no longer belongs. So here in the exercise, I want you to ask yourself, what am I done with? Your gut's going to tell you the answer to this one. You'll know it. You know it the minute I said those words. You heard it in your head, in your gut, somewhere. When I said, what am I done with? You knew the answer to that. Write it down. Next question is, what is creating friction without benefit? Right? Now, friction, I'll give an example of friction. I have a client who is just very committed to the personal touch in their communications with clients. And so they have stayed very true to clients needing to reach out personally to schedule appointments, etc. And they feel that that is because they have a very warm and personable approach with their clients, and that it's very important that their clients get that warmth and personal touch. But it was also creating friction, right? Because these clients couldn't get something scheduled in the moment they were thinking about getting scheduled. And what my client realized over time, because that might be good. If the clients valued that personal touch, that ability to chat with the person while they were making and scheduling an appointment, then there'd be benefit. So the friction, which is the slowdown of the client getting what they want, which is something scheduled. But if there were a benefit to the client, which then is a benefit to you and your business, that might be okay. But what she found when she actually looked at it is clients hated it. There was no benefit. There was a benefit in her mind. The benefit was not real. Clients actually did not like it. They wanted the instant gratification of the world that we live in. And she got Calendly, a simple solution. And immediately clients were happier. There was less friction and a great deal of happy benefit because clients were happy. So that's your next one. What's creating friction without benefit? And finally, what is keeping me from stepping into the next level of my practice? What's holding you back? What's holding you back? Now, from here, I want you to choose 3 things, and they can be structural, strategic, or personal. The worksheet gives you space to commit to them in writing. These are the 3 things that you're going to choose that you can leave behind. And again, this is where real change begins. Now, I know if you're listening to this, you're like, I don't want to download that worksheet. I don't want to do this. This sounds like work. It is work. But let me tell you why the process is essential. Without reflection, you will repeat the same year, the same patterns, the same results, and the same frustrations. And no year was perfect. There are frustrations in every practice. The year-end debrief helps you grow with intention rather than by accident, which is how it happens for so many. It will allow you to enter 2026 with a clear understanding of what strengthens your practice and what weakens it. Professionals who do this work every year create momentum. They make informed choices. What we want our clients to do, right? We can do that. We can make informed choices and stay focused on our goals because you're measuring what worked, what didn't work, and what to leave behind by what moves you toward your goals. And that helps you to build practices that are sustainable and profitable. It is not a year-end ritual or simply a year-end ritual. It is a strategic advantage. You know I'm all about strategy. And hey, who doesn't want an advantage? There are a lot of people out there in this world who do what we do. We can all use a strategic advantage, and this one is 100% in your control. Let's round this up with some expanded golden nuggets that bring this episode home in a meaningful and actionable way. So let's just pull everything together here. First, your wins are data. They are not random. They reveal the strategies, behaviors, and decisions that created real progress for you. They are the activities you should repeat, refine, and amplify next year. Second, what did not work is also data. It is not personal. It does not mean you failed, that something didn't work. It is not a sign that you are off track. It simply highlights the activities that are not worth your time or energy. Let the lessons guide your decisions instead of letting disappointment shut you down. Third, growth comes from subtraction. You can't add if there's no room. So you cannot add new programs, improve systems, or elevate your brand if you keep saying yes to the same draining commitments. Releasing what no longer aligns is one of the most powerful business decisions you will ever make. Hard, but most powerful. And fourth, your practice is shaped by the choices and work you do in December, right now. Although it's never too late to do this, December is the best time to do this. Do this debrief with honesty and intention, and it will become the roadmap for your first quarter and set the tone for your entire year. And finally, you are not starting from scratch. You are starting from experience. And experience is the most valuable asset an entrepreneur has. So use it. Please use it to guide you instead of ignoring it. I want you to remember that clarity creates momentum. When you have a clear picture of what to continue, what to improve, and what to let go, you walk into 2026 with purpose and confidence, and you can be, as my friend Jill said, unstoppable. Don't forget, the companion worksheet is available right now. You can download it and complete it while this conversation is fresh. You'll find the link for it in the show notes, and it's going to help you turn today's insights into actionable plan for next year. So listeners, we're almost at the end of this really wonderful 2025. I hope you have all had a fabulous year and you're finding help and support and guidance and insights in the Practice Playbook podcast. I'm excited to continue supporting you and building the practice you deserve in 2026 and beyond. Thanks so much for listening to the Practice Playbook podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, I would love it if you'd take a moment to leave a review, follow the show, or share it with a colleague who's ready to build the practice of their dreams. If you want more support and tools like the ones you heard today, join the waitlist for the Practice Accelerator, my brand new subscription program packed with resources to help you grow smarter. You can find the link in the show notes or visit susaneguthrie.com to learn more. Until next time, stay focused, stay intentional, and remember, success starts with the right playbook.